Hey folks, Nick here from another BookTube channel. Today, doing something really fun. I'm going to be tier ranking comic book publisher logos. I dug just through my memory and just pulled all of the comic publishers that I can think of off the top of my head, found some images of them online of the logos, put them into this tier list organizer thingy that I'm sure you've seen on YouTube before, and going to be ranking them based on completely on personal preference. Not a graphic designer. I can't tell you, ooh, this is a good font for this choice or whatever. I mean, it's all just going to be feeling like what's my initial reaction. What are my reactions to seeing these logos? I've got 5 tiers here. The top tier is nailed it. Perfect logo. Then I got great, good, acceptable for when it's just like, yeah, it works. It's just like, could be better. And then change it, which is a logo that I'm just like, this is not going to work. This is not tenable. Let's move on. And I've got 20 something logos here, which we can see. I've got them in alphabetical order. And we are going to start with Archie. Now, in some instances, these publishers have been around for decades, so they've had a number of logos. So for Marvel and DC, I've got more than one. The rest of them, if they had multiple logos, I usually would just pick one that kind of stood out to me. So if one's missing, sorry. The first one here is the Archie logo. We got Archie in red font with his little head up there. I've never been a huge fan of Archie comics, but the style is undeniable, undeniably appealing, and obviously pretty iconic. Um, hmm. I think I think this is a pretty great logo because this tells me exactly the type of style of comics I'm gonna get. I see the character's face, which the Archie style is universal. Every comic looks like that style, and even this font is kind of indicative of that specific Archie flavor. So, in terms of telling the audience what they're going to get, telling the reader, this is a great logo that really conveys that. So, I'll give that a great. Atlas Comics. This is one of the OG Marvels. This is Marvel just before it was actually Marvel. It's a decent logo. I mean, Atlas obviously related to the globe, so you've got a globe on there, but it's a little bland. And it didn't stick around too long. And so, I mean, they did eventually change it, so maybe it would make sense to go into the change it category. But honestly, I think it is borderline acceptable, but I wish that there was some color on it. But it's kind of an older one, and publishing was pretty cheap there. I'm gonna put acceptable. I'm gonna put acceptable for Atlas. It's fair. I like the banner that's going across it. Black Mask, a publisher that I've only ever read one comic from. They have a series called Bunny Mask, which is kind of a decent horror comic. I like the idea behind this one because they've got a big black mask, for their logo, but it's also a B for Black Mask. So it works on several levels. That being said, I don't know that it stands out. It doesn't. I don't know that it really catches my eye. Honestly, I go to the comic shop every week, and I don't know that I can identify a Black Mask comic just by spotting the logo. So for that reason, I'm going to say good. I think it's a good logo, decent idea. Boom Studios. Their first logo I think was pretty cool because they had an explosion in the boom, which matches the name. Other than that, I like the big exclamation point at the end there. I do think you kind of have a similar situation with Black Mask where it doesn't stand out a ton. It's not overly inspired. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll just say good logo for Boom. Charlton Comics Group. So defunct comics publisher. They created like Blue Beetle, Peacemaker, The Question, and I like this logo. I like how colorful it is. I like that it looks like a bullseye. It looks like a dartboard with the group, as the thing aiming towards the center. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a great logo. I really like that logo personally. Yeah. All right. Ooh, we got 3 different Dark Horse Comics logos. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I love all 3 of these. I love the Dark Horse Comics logo. The first one, this is their first one from their inception in 1986, I think, till like 89 or 90. This one, I'm gonna say, is a great logo. I love just the fact that it's not just a dark horse. I love that it's the chess piece, the horse. For some reason, that really like speaks to me. The only thing that I would say prevents us from being nailed it is I don't love the actual Dark Horse Comics, like the banner that it's in. But the next one, their updated one in the 90s that ran for up until like 2003 or so, or whatever. I don't know. I don't actually know the years. Maybe it was later. But this one, I'm saying nailed it. I love this logo. Love it because it's just the standalone piece. It's in the nice circle. I think maybe I'm a sucker for a circle. Honestly, I think it really draws the eye. I like the font for Dark Horse Comics. I just think that is a great logo. I love it. And then the new one, the present day one, is really strong too. I'm going to say great there as well. They kind of took away the chess aspect to it, which a little disappointing. But this is one where I am. This one I can easily identify. Like even though it's all black, like Black Mask or Boom, the horse really stands out. I like the horse. Okay, into DC, and I got a bunch for the history of DC here. I got their first logo in which they call themselves DC. So before that, I think they were National Comics. So this is just a DC publication, very bland. There has been some iterations of this one. Early on in the years, I think they added some red in there. They added the word Superman in there. I don't care for this much at all, and in fact, I'm going to say change it, which of course they did many times. It's just so boring to me. The next one, this is probably, in my opinion, the most iconic. This is their Bullet logo, and it's black here, but it changed colors, depending on the cover. So you would see it in red, you'd see it in blue. And I actually think this is my favorite of the DC ones. I'm gonna say they nailed it on this one. I like just the 4 stars, but I love that it's not just orthogonal. It's kind of diagonal. I mean, everything's on the angle. Neat, just like little touch like that. I think it's a great logo. I really do. I love it. And then we have the. Is this the New 52 logo? No. Yeah. Yes. It must be, right. Yeah. This is when they rebooted. This one doesn't speak to me that much. It's distinctly its own color. It still has that kind of like wheel and the star going on that's diagonal, but I don't know. It doesn't. I feel. I honestly don't know how to feel about this one way or another. So I'm just gonna say good. Um, I can see people saying that's a great logo. I personally I don't really connect with it, and I'm gonna say the same thing for this one here. I think this was the Rebirth logo, where the D is peeling away to reveal the C. This looks to me more like a brand for like a computer, like a technology, a tech company logo, more than a comics thing. So in that case, I'm actually going to say I'm actually putting this down to change it. I don't like now that I'm really looking at that logo. I don't think I've ever really looked at that logo before. I don't like it at all. I'm saying change it, get it out of here, because that is ugh. No, that's not a comic book. The new logo, the present logo, is very distinctly a comic logo, I feel like, and it is an homage. They had to their logo in the 70s, which was just the DC in like red letters, which is kind of boring. But this one I think brings it back to feeling like a comic book. I think the font is a little bit stronger. I'm still just going to say good. I don't think it's great, but I think they got back on track after this nonsense. Okay, another unfortunately defunct publisher, EC Comics. And again, I'm really drawn to like the circle design. And I think EC is kind of an iconic one, an entertaining comic. Uh, Here's the thing. I think on its own, I think it is a great logo. I like the way it looks because of how important it is in my mind. I want to say that they nailed it because it I can really see a trend here in my top three nailed it. It's like a circle. Well, I guess I'm a sucker for it. And the EC and DC ones look kind of similar. They've even got stars in the outer in the outer circle, the outer rim. Um, but yeah, I just think of it, and it's so instantly identifiable. But did they really nail it? I don't know. If this is my subjective ranking, I'm gonna say they nailed it, even though it's like the same thing as the DC one. Oh boy, whatever. I actually might have to change things up a little bit because I think the Fantagraphics logo. Fantagraphics is an awesome publisher. They publish a lot of cool alternative stuff. They are currently the publisher for like they've been publishing like Love and Rockets. Um, what else do they do? They do a lot of cool stuff. Anytime you see like a really nice collection of a truly like artistic book, Fantagraphics is inevitably the person behind that. And I think this is a fabulous logo because to me this screams like premium quality. And I love that it is the pen nib logo with a flame on top. So it's got like, oh, it's awesome. Whoever designed this logo absolutely crushed it. And the reason I say this might shake things up is I don't think anything really like comes close to this one. I'm going to put it at the top of Nailed It because I do think everything else pales in comparison. I mean, do I have anything else that I think is going to be Nailed It? Maybe. But nothing that nails it quite as well as Fantagraphics. It's telling you you're getting top quality comics. You're going to get great artwork, and it just looks prestige. I love the Fantagraphics logo. Beautiful. Heavy Metal. Oh, I actually really like the Heavy Metal one too. Heavy Metal Magazine. Um, whoops. Heavy Metal Magazine. There's something also incredibly iconic about this one. You'll often see it in different colors. This is the like the metal edition, which I think makes the most sense considering the name of the book. I'm going to call this one great. I think it's really awesome. I love that the heavy is falling over and kind of crushing the metal beneath it because it's heavy metal. I just think works really well. I really like that logo. Image Comics, I am putting this one firmly in acceptable. They've used the same logo since their inception in 1992, 3? I don't remember. And it's fine. It gets the point across. It is, that it's Image, but it's just so boring to me. Like, for a company that was an offshoot of a bunch of, like, rogue artists that left Marvel to do their own thing, start their own studio, and they had such a extreme style. It was Extreme Studios. It's such a mid, like decent logo. So I don't know. Just acceptable. King Hell. King Hell is Rick Veitch's imprint, his self-publishing imprint, through which he published things like Brat Pack and the Maxi Mortal. King Hell is awesome, and I really like this logo. I think Rick Veitch has a great eye for design. I like the skull. I actually had to take a picture of this off of one of my own comics because I couldn't just find a close-up of the logo online. So it's kind of a deep cut, but I really like the King Hell logo, so I wanted to include that on here. Kitchen Sink. Oh man, I think I included too many that I just think are great. Kitchen Sink has 2 logos. There's also the one where the faucet is like facing to the left, and that's also a really good one. But I think the Kitchen Sink logo is also great. That's Dennis Kitchen's publishing company. He's another one that published alternative indie comics. And just, I mean, how on the nose. He is Dennis Kitchen, so it's great that he calls his company the Kitchen Sink Comics. and then having a faucet be the logo, it just makes perfect sense. So it's just a great, like, everything coming together to make like this the perfect logo. I think that's great. All right, we're into Marvel now. And Marvel Comics, like proper Marvel, started really, really bland. This was it. It was just black Marvel, and it would change it. Sometimes it said like Marvel Comics Group, or like just MCG variations of that. But for the majority of the early years, up until the '90s, Marvel wasn't really using a big logo. They were using corner boxes. They were pioneers of the corner box on a comic cover. So that's what sold the comic, not the logo. So when we take this on its own, yeah, it looks kind of boring. So I'm going to say change it. There's really nothing. There's nothing there. I literally can design that by opening Word, like choosing probably Times New Roman and just typing Marvel. Boom, you got it, making it bold. But then in the '90s, we got this one, which I think is one of the more iconic publishing logos. And I'm going to say nailed it. I think it is a great logo. Just a big M with Marvel in the big letters on top of it. Comics in bright yellow cutting across it. Stands out. Really stands out on a shelf. I think that's great. Great. And now we have the current modern day Marvel, which is in its own extremely recognizable because you recognize it from the beginning of all the MCU movies, and those big letters filling the screen. But I think it's just good. Like it's fine. It's very basic, and it's a mix of the '90s logo and the original logo, and it just evens out to create something that is good. Pacific Comics. Just like the comics themselves, I will say acceptable. Although Pacific did publish The Rocketeer at first, which was great. But Pacific Comics had some stuff that was worth reading. Some. But that's just an acceptable logo. It's just a PC, I don't know, decent color scheme. Although the color scheme I think changes. Nothing special. Spider Baby graphics. I included this one just because I wanted you guys to see the spider, the baby head with the spider legs. This is Stephen Bissett's self-published imprint, through which he published like Taboo and Spider Baby comics and Tyrant. And I just love his artwork. I'm putting that in great. How could you not like Stephen Bissett's artwork? It's great logo. It's so ridiculous. All right, last three. Tundra. This is Kevin Eastman's defunct company after the success of Ninja Turtles. He made his own publisher. Threw money at creators to join up. I mean, I think he got Rick Veitch to start doing his stuff at Tundra. I think the first few issues of Rat Pack were there. The first Madman series by Mike Allred was published by Tundra. So they had some good stuff. And this is a fun logo. I'm stuck between good and great on this one. I might put it at the top of good. Yeah, Tundra. And you got the woolly mammoth. I don't know. Should it be great? I don't want to put too many things in great. Although I think maybe it's misleading because I have Archie and Heavy Metal up there, and they're really wide, so it looks like there's more in great than there actually is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's already 8 in there. All right, I might have to reassess that. Timely Comics, the original Marvel Comics, from its very inception with the Shield. I am going to say good on this one as well. I am also going to say good on Timely Comics. I'm glad that it changed over the years. I think for the time, it was probably really, really interesting to see. And I think when you're publishing Captain America with his shield, it creates that like moment of connection between the logo and a popular character. Even though the shield changed to a circle in Captain America 2, I think it's a good logo. And finally, Uncivilized Books. They're another one they publish alternative and indie comics. Some really fun stuff being published by Uncivilized Books today. Check out their website. A lot of really great creators there. You got a caveman walking away. I think it's appropriate that he should be right next to Tundra, right next to the mammoth. They look. It even looks like it lines up to be one logo. I like that. I like that a lot. I think for that reason, I'm going to keep both of them in good, just so I don't separate them. All right, so that is my tier ranking. Let me see if I want to adjust any of this. So Fantagraphics, I think, is the best, and Dark Horse up there, yeah. I think I might drop EC. I might drop EC. I think it's a little bit. I don't know. I just feel weird having it so close to the DC logo and they look so similar, just like negative versions of each other. I'm going to put the newer Dark Horse logo ahead of Archie. I'm going to put Heavy Metal in front of that one. Keep Spider Baby where that is. Man, do I want to change anything here? I think the Marvel logo is better than the DC logo. Come on, get over there. Acceptable. I'm going to put Image ahead of Atlas on acceptable. Come on. And yeah, change it. I think there we go. DC's got 2 and change it. So there you go. That is my final ranking. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear your thoughts about where you would put these logos in this ranking. And if you like this video, let me know. Maybe I'll do more stuff like this. And if I missed a publisher, if I missed a logo, if I forgot something, leave a comment and I'll tell you where I would sort it in here. Let's do that. That sounds like a fun follow-up here. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for spending some time with me today. But now it's time to get back to reading.